Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back with another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by the Hitman himself, Mr. Joe Elmore. How you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I love that you are so laid back when you talk to people, and you are an absolute lunatic when it comes to anything BKFC related. Like it's an on-off switch. Like, have you always been kind of Jekyll and Hyde like that, or is it just you get so amped up when you're getting ready to do combat stuff?
Goku don't walk around Super Saiyan all the time. One of my favorite sayings is, "I'm a peaceful man, but I'm capable of great violence. If you're not capable of great violence, you're not peaceful. You're harmless." And I've been through hell and back, man. You know, pressure makes diamonds from my childhood. Some of the traumas I went through, the struggle of being homeless, having to leave the streets. Like I said, I always tell everybody when I'm homeless, I chose to leave everything I had behind because the place I was at had nothing for me, and I sold everything. I had nothing but clothes and a duffel bag, chasing a dream to become a UFC champion when I left. And I wound up down in Panama City, Florida, training at Ultimate Boxing. I'm gonna make a long story short. It was just a wild thing. Almost God put the universe in for me to be there, and it turned out I moved to Panama City off of what was supposed to be a 5-day vacation. I got in a fight with 3 guys, knocked them out. Got a membership at a gym. Started mopping mats for a gym membership. The guy let me sleep on his couch.
Are you one of those guys that believes in like the universe sends you messages and like you're exactly where you're supposed to be?
Oh, dude, I listen. The universe, you can call it the universe, vibration, God, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, but there's something that connects and holds us all together. Frequency and vibration holds each human being together. It's a reflection of light and a frequency. Everything has its own unique individual frequency, from wood to steel to. And I try to listen to where the world is. When things vibrate weird, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. And things, I've learned that things don't happen to you, things happen, and we just happen to be there. So I just got a positive outlook on life, whether it's good or bad. When bad things happen, I'm in the wrong place. The universe can guide you. And as I was saying earlier to Brian Social when I was on the show, you can put things into fruition. And people think if you think it, your destiny can be there, and it is. And I'm like, I wanted Ludacris to come, or I wanted this guy to rap my song. Uh, uh, I'm not going to name drop, but one of my artists that I really wanted to hit me up, who was not following me, only follows like 500 people. He hit me up and was like, "Dude, I would love to come walk you out. Dude, it'd be such an honor. I'm training or not training, excuse me. I train. He's going to be recording in Nashville from December 2nd to December 10th. Nashville's only like 2.5 hour drive from Atlanta. So if he can make it work with the studio and then another artist he's going to be down there doing his album with, he's going to come rap a cool ass song uh, as I walk out. And yeah, I put that in the air. But the hard work, the reaching out, you can't just say, I wish this person would reach out. And you don't try to call their management. I tag them in post. I do. I think that yeah, I'm putting it in the air. If I want it, I'm going to go get it. I'm a fighter, not just in the ring, but I'm a fighter.
I appreciate you dressing up for us. You know, the black tie affair. Like, I saw that you just got the black belt. Can you do you want to tell the fans kind of about like your journey in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu?
Yeah, I've been. I went to state all 4 years in high school. I set the Dyersburg High School pin record. I was always a grappler, but we were country boys. Now I started grappling in the backyard. Me and these guys named Kenny Biggers, a bunch of guys from Dyersburg. We would copycat the UFC. We would have boxing matches. We would choke each other out, but we didn't have no professors or. I idolized Royce Gracie, Dan Gables. I went to Dan Gable, Dave Zaleski, Tom and Terry brand wrestling camp back in the day at University of Iowa every summer for the combat camp. So I was a grappler my whole life, but even more so, I've actually started training jiu-jitsu 20 years. When I was in Panama City, I had an instructor down there that trained under Danny Ruiz at one time, Team Capital down in the Emerald Coast. So he was teaching us all because I was just a hard-nosed, grinding, hard-hitting country boy that was way too strong for my size and way too blessed athletically. And I finally moved here to Georgia, and Gracie Baja. Oh my God, my idols. A family member of my idols. But anyway, I fought Diego Saraiva and at the time, Saraiva. And at the time, Fabio Costa, I went to him and I was like, "Hey man, I'm just a crazy ass fucking Blanco gringo. And I need help because Diego Saraiva is a beast black belt back then and still today. And I was white belt, man, internet trained, but I was flying leg lock machine, dude. I could do a flying heel hook, and an Imanari roll before I knew how to pass someone's full guard or what it was called. And he was so pissed at me. He used to make fun of me because I called it the Chill Dog, the New Yorker, all the Eddie Bravo shit. 10th Planet wasn't here yet. They are now in Atlanta. But this is like 2009. So Bobby was like, you got to come here. You got to put the gi on. And first day I put a gi on was 15 years ago at Fabio Costa's 2009. And I tapped out 2 black belts. Again, I'm not going to name them, but they were really good black belts. One of them was a good buddy of mine that I trained MMA with. And I spent one day as a white belt in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi at Gracie Baja. And they went to the back. They come and judo, threw me to the ground, gave me my blue belt. I spent 7.5 years as a blue belt. And I've always been a competitor, man. I tapped out black belts, but I wouldn't go put that gi on as much as I should have. And over the last about 10 years, I've really just focused and developed more as a man and a human. And this has become super important to me to be professor. Just the way I talk to people, I'm a excuse my language, but I'm a fucking psycho. If you want to fight, bitch, but we're going to sign a contract, make some money. And I dare you, motherfucker, to come get it. Anybody, everybody, Ben Rothwell, big size, little size, I don't give a shit. I'll fight 3 munchkins in the fight circus if they're going to pay me to do it. Because I love to entertain. I love to fight. It's passion. But I love those humans. I love them to death. I love the fact that they give me the chance to do what I do and be normal. And martial arts has been my medicine for ADHD, it's been the way I went from introvert to, dude, y'all would never know that I was the shy kid that could only hug ladies at church and stuff growing up in the South. And was 4'11", 103 pounds my freshman year. I wrestled 103, 112, 119, 152. I wanted to eat my senior year. By the way, I could have made 140, but I was benching like 350 walking around. I've always been cock strong, but yeah, man. So it's that's why this fight's starting to bull up, and I've taken it so serious, and I'm settled in. I get to accumulate 20 years of work. Got my black belt right before my big fight, and it's everything, dude. Just having the fact that Fabio took me under his wing, taught me what he did, developed me into the man. Life as a whole. I individualize all my relationships, but life as a whole to me, and this represents it more than anything in the world. I know I'm a badass bare knuckle fighter, but this will always be one of the most important things. So the day I married my wife, getting to heaven, and the day my son was born, they're all right up there with the effort and love and blood and sacrifice, and I'll die for all those things.
Okay, so you have a big fight coming up in Georgia, and the Rivera era just texted me and he said, ask him what it feels like to host or, be one of the headlines for the Atlanta OG. Headline the OG. Hold on. Ask him how it feels to be an Atlanta OG to the younger generation like me and the others.
Oh, dude, I love those guys. They're so talented. Talking about Nathan Rivera.
Yes, sir.
Nate. Oh yeah, Nathan. Dude, I'm such a fan. I'm a fan of them. Like to come to. I've accepted the fact now that I am Joe Hitman. I'm like, ooh. I mean, I get like recognized places, but to me, I'm still fucking Joey from the country, grandma's boy, and the fact that these kids getting to be a part of their success when I'm a fan of them as well when they perform, that means everything to me. It's why I try to be respectful and say yes, sir, and I try to set an example of what a human being that can be a vicious killer, but for good, you can be amazing and good human. I think I've learned to portray violence in the most healthy, best way possible because it's 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 me getting my ass whooped and I'm bleeding. And I think one of the best things I've ever done in my life is never quit. Right? I'm in there with blood coming off, licking the blood. People come and say to me, "Man, dude, I was depressed, or I had this going on, or I had a drug problem, or I had alcoholism, and dude, I saw you bleeding out your face, licking blood off, and I thought, my shit's not so bad, dude. What is wrong with you?" And God made me crazy and tough on purpose, man. And He gave me a huge, giant heart. And when all else fails, it might be my thick bones, but I think my heart has carried me through everything because being great so I can be great for others, so I can continue to mean something to them, and I can inspire 50 champions like Nathan Rivera, like Hunter, my boy's son that just got his first 52-second knockout. I mean, all of them, dude. I get to be a part of that forever, and I get to live even when I'm dead. So, And I don't care about being famous. Like I said, it ain't about being Joe. Ooh, it's about living on forever and in a good way and creating an influence on the world, whatever it may be, to create better, great men that can we can all hold each other accountable to. I fuck up every day. I'm beyond and the least perfect human being on this earth. But I know I'm a jackass and I know I can I whoop my own ass, y'all. It ain't just y'all. I look in the mirror and I'm like, quit fucking up. Be a better husband. Keep your shit together. Don't blow up. Be forgiving. I'm hard on myself, so don't take it when I'm hard on you. I'm hard on me too, baby.
We just did an interview shortly before yours, and we interviewed Keith the Rockstar Richardson. He said you're one of the few guys that he feels has just as much heart and dog as he does. Can you talk about your friendship? He was so excited that you guys get to share a card together, and he said you're one of his really good friends.
Dude, I love him. It just feels so good to be another OG. We fought at Wild Bills together before it was in. David Oblaz runs the MMA scene really here in Georgia, man. As far as like putting people on the map and having so many fighters that come through there because he puts on consistent shows. But it started out at Wild Bills Fight Night in Duluth way long ago, and it's now NFC National Fighting Championships. There's sponsors that have come along the way. A lot of us have had that opportunity to do that, man. And it's again, it's just cool that it turned into this now. So
One of the things that I really admire about you, you were the one that was like helping lead the charge to get BKFC legal. Can you tell us about like the steps that you had to go through? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of hoops. I've talked to Ben Rothwell. He's up here in Wisconsin. He's kind of doing it himself. But the fans that don't know, I mean, it's not you just go up and ask somebody to do it, right? I mean, there's a lot of steps you have to go through.
I mean, let's give props to Dave Feldman and his team and their lawyers, and because I know they go through hell, man. I almost give up, to be honest. I made the calls and I was wanting to be a part of it, and David Feldman really fought for it because of what I've put into it. He promised me he would get it here, and it was his dream to help me make my dream come true to get to fight this. And it sucked because I had to wait a whole year to fight because it was supposed to be then, it was supposed to be that. But man, for 5 years they have busted their ass and fought. And it just feels good for me to have a guy like me here. I think made it happen faster. It was more their effort and their stuff, but my face exploding on the billboards. When you click on Fubu and Amazon Prime, Tom's punching me in my face. You see blood. You have to click that to watch. It ain't Mike Perry all the time. It's like I get half the stuff like that, and it's just cool, man. Um, I wanna set the show off right. I want to entertain everybody. I want BKFC to come back. I want Nathan to be able to be a champion here. I want Josh and Harrison Aiken and all these other guys that are on this undercard. I want them to come here and I want to be able to coach them later down the road. Man, I still got 4 or 5 good years of just solid time. I can be a champion here, but one day I want to sit on the sideline and have my own fighters and be a part of Nathan's camp and helping those guys headline the next 10 cards we're going to have in Atlanta. And I'll always be first one. Me and Keith together, dude, OGs from back in the day, rocking and rolling, man. And by the way, I love him. I got a little off because I'm so passionate about where we're going with this, but I love that dude, man. He is a shining example of a true fighter, a real killer. He fought for our country. I had a 1020. I have asthma, so I tried my best to go, and he got to live that dream. And that's why I'm so passionate about this because I get to work with police, firefighters, doctors, lawyers, rednecks, drug addicts. I get to touch everybody, so I'm not limited to just the military. So my fight's different, but that dude gets in there and he fights for his country, and now he's out here fighting again. We got the soul of a warrior, and you can't teach that, dude. We're both talented. We're martial artists. You just can't teach that. So that's a brotherhood, I think, that makes us both care about each other. This moment means so much, too.
I know you're a country boy. Are you doing much hunting? My son, we're doing some hunting now. My son just got a rabbit the other day, so I was teaching him how to like clean it, and we ate it and stuff like that. So, A, are you doing much hunting? And B, what's the weirdest what's the weirdest thing that you like to eat when you go hunting?
Well, I don't know if anything's weird. My wife don't eat fish, but she'll eat squirrel. So
Okay.
she's country girl too. Me and my wife's dad are best friends, dude. Ned Gudgel. Well, I love that dude. I'm close to family. I treat my friends like family sometimes too, but my family's my family. So yeah, we go hunting, dude. He set it up. I've got a 10 pointer I'm tracking right now, and I'm not gonna kill nothing smaller. I let a couple go because I want my target deer because I'm so focused. on training. I can't really justify taking the time to go do something as pleasurable as that. And I provide for my family. It's my food too, but I got a freezer full. So if I didn't have freezer full of deer jerky and deer chorizo and deer sausage and deer andouille, then I'd be out getting me some more deer. But my father-in-law, he killed 2 this year already. He's gave me a bunch of jerky. He loaned me some meat, and I'm gonna go out and get my target buck. And towards the end of the season, if I need to kill a doe for some more meat, I will. But yeah, right now I'm chasing a target buck, focused on my thing. But I love dove, duck, goose. I'm a trout fisherman, skydiving, four-wheeler riding, yeehaw swinging motherfucker, boy. I mean, I do it all. I can hunt, I can garden. Tell this story more than anything. When I was 5 years old for my birthday, y'all know what I asked for?
What's that?
Tiller. My papa got me a Troy built tiller for my 5th birthday because he said there ain't no way in hell I'm raising no melons for you, boy. We got real stuff to eat. And I wanted watermelons, honeydews, cantaloupes, and my papa wanted to grow black eyed peas so we could shook for the church, and then the sweet corn. Ooh, but I love sweet corn. And then that damn okra to itch you to death whenever you go through it. But if I wanted watermelons, but I gotta have to do it. So yeah, I've been running the tiller since I was a kid. I ain't never had chickens, but I've worked on a farm. I had my own horse. The pastor at the Church of Christ I went to with my mom. I grew up Southern Baptist, but the pastor, he owned a horse ranch and he housed other people's horses. And there was this race horse that got a little bit hurt and sprained, and we were housing it. And the guy said, "Here, you can take it." He gave it to me, so I used to go clean shit up for horses and take them out to the pasture. I can ride. And there ain't a whole lot I can't do. If the zombie apocalypse comes, hit me up, 1-800-HITMAN.
That's the one thing I love. So like, I'm from the country, but then I was living in the city, and I told the wife, I said, we need to get back to the country. So like now I live northern Wisconsin, 30 acres in the backyard. My wife shoots deer, my son shoots deer. We love the hunting, and it's something about being that country and the people. Like that's what I love. Or do you live in the city of Atlanta, or are you like still out in the?
Well, I'm in the suburbs and I'm in the city, but we got my father-in-law's got some land. We go camping all the time. We're right an hour south of LJ because I'm on the north side. I live in like Cobb County. So
Okay.
I'm right about 15 minutes above the Brave Stadium. I drive into the city to train, so it's far enough. It's aggravating as hell to have to drive that hour sometimes to go to some of the stuff I got to do, but it's so much better to live out here a little bit. It's a little bit quiet. Like I said, I got 50 restaurants. My son blows his mind when he comes in from Tennessee, from the farm community he's from, and I've got the 5 Walmarts within 3.4 miles of my house. I definitely live in the city here in Atlanta. But I'm a suburban city boy. You can take the boy out the country, but you can't take the country out the boy because I'm just a country man. And what I mean by that is I love Jesus. I love my grandma. I love my family. I made a lot of mistakes. I done dumb shit, but I don't drink no more. And all that dumb shit turned into some valuable lessons that made me one of the best men on the planet. And I don't regret one thing I've been through or one thing I did because I wouldn't be where I am today if one thing changed.
Do you feel like sobriety, like speaking of sobriety, there's quite a few fighters who are open about like sobriety absolutely changed your life. Would you be where you were at now if you weren't sober? I mean, was drinking that
Oh
big of
yeah.
a problem, or?
Yeah, because like I said, I never really had a drinking problem, man. I just drank because I just don't want to influence kids. I got people that actually got problems there is nothing that has power over me. I lost my anger with the dude, Ruben War, the other night on a podcast, and I let it go. But I was cutting weight. I had a bad day at the gym that day, but I've already texted him back and apologized. I ain't no bitch because I'll whoop his motherfucking ass just like he will mine. We can whoop each other, but it ain't meant to be disrespectful. And I sure as hell ain't going to do it over anger and be mad at you. I just, yeah, man, it's hard. It's just a different mindset. It's the best mindset I've ever been in coming into a fight, and it's been a lifestyle. And not drinking has just been my gut health. I feel good. The water, I don't do sugar no more. I say no alcohol because I want to encourage people to know that it really can fuck you up. Whether you drink one a day or I get gas and stuff. My IBS's went away. Like, man, I'm just a healthy human being. And like you said, you got to listen to the universe. You got to listen to God. You got to listen to whatever you want to call it. You got to listen to it. And when you feel better, dude, I look better than there's 27-year-olds that don't look as good as me. And I'm saying I look good, but man, I'm healthy right now. We just got my blood work back and went through it. And it's like my blood work said, "Damn, son!" Like, it's mind blowing. All my results from the last 10 years, the last 5 years of my life, really the last three, uh, the revitalization I've had with BKFC and being with my family and just having a supportive wife. And my son's 20 now, and I'm proud of him. He's doing good for this generation. He's doing amazing. And there's a lot of bad things that have happened, but I, as a father, a uncle, have been able to be there for the people in my life that have had bad times. And dude, it's just been an amazing three years, and even the bad shit that's happened, it's put me where I am and giving me the opportunity to be the co-main event December 6th as the best version of myself I've ever been.
Me and some of the guys on the Reddit were talking. You could be like a sibling to Steve Tomahawk Townsend. You guys look very similar. Like, have you guys discussed that? How similar you guys look like?
Actually, my boy Harrison Aiken fought him, and we hated each other that first night. We got in an argument because his boy hit Harrison on the ground. Now we're friends. I like him, dude, and he's actually one of he hadn't heard me say this, but you could tell him I said it. He is one of my favorite, most improved fighters. I could see the evolution of him leaving BYB. I don't know where he was in life, but I see what I could see that I didn't think nobody could see it, but you could see my skin tone, you could see my voice, the way I talk. You can always tell a champion and somebody that really is putting every ounce of effort in, or if they're really not putting the effort they say they are in. Man, that dude's put some effort in. I'm so proud of him as a human being and the way he exerts himself. And yeah, it's cool. So I'll take that. We're good looking. We are. Yes, we are, baby.
Good looking. Yeah, like you just said, like he's one of those guys who's actually got better with age. Father Time tends to slow some guys down. He's getting, if he could just figure out the hand thing and stop breaking his hands on people's face. But yeah, he's gotten better every fight, and that's one thing I love about him.
Hey, the more we break them, the more they calcify. I mean, look at these knuckles. It almost looks like I'm flipping somebody off with that one now.
Yeah, don't
Like,
hit me with
talk
that.
about slobber knocker. Look at those.
Yeah.
God. Eventually, they just turn into extra nuts.
I know you loved MMA, but are you one of those guys that feels like had BKFC been around, you would have been able to skip the MMA route, or do you just love the grappling so much?
I love it all. Like I said, now I love it all individually. I realize MMA, the hardest thing to do is blend the dances together, to transition them so perfectly and so well. To go from to have a boxing slash wrestling slash BJJ stand. We don't look. Who am I? I'm a fighter. Who am I? BJJ. Who am I? Wrestler. I mean, we stand different. We take pictures different. We pose different.
Sure.
To blend that together is a hard thing. And for me to be able to focus on BJJ as a separate entity, focus on Bare Knuckles, a separate entity. I love it. So if it would have been like that a long time ago, the type of fighter I am, I would have wrestled and done leg and submission and smack wrestling, but I would have been a bare knuckle fighter. I would have, wouldn't, I love the UFC with all my heart. I like to fucking fight. I was a grappler starting out. I was a world class better grappler than I was a striker. Now, God, if I went back to MMA, I'd murder everybody. They don't even want to see me do that. God. But yeah, no, and I'm a bare knuckle to me is fisticuff. It's art. Like I said,
Sure.
me and my friends in Dyersburg, we were fighting, effing, and fishing. See, also the city I came from. All right, now that was all we had to do was fight or try to, yeah, to hook up or go to a cornfield and get a keg and charge admission with some solo cups and play beer pong and beat the shit out of each other because Dyer County versus this and Lake County and it was county versus county, not street versus street in the city. You get too many people on one street and they all hate each other from street to street. But our gangs was Dyersburg High School Trojans. Whoop each other's ass over them high school colors, boy. And yeah, man, it's fun to have all those guys see me doing it, and you can't hug me. I don't get dropped by punches. Like I said, I got a thick skull. I'm a hard headed son of a bitch, just like my daddy said when I was younger. And yeah, so guys, I hit them a lot of times have hugged me. And even though I'm a better grappling wrestler, I'm like Justin Gagey. I want to get the fuck up and let's fight because when you get into a grappling match at a black belt level, there's sometimes where I can go to a jiu-jitsu fight and it's like there's no movement. And then one guy like flicks his leg, he drops his hip and he hits a path. Everybody stands up. Ah, if you do that in MMA, I mean, within 5 seconds at a UFC fight, stand them up. I mean, dude, they've been there 5 seconds. Wait a minute. He's
Yeah.
choking them out. They don't know because of Not the ignorance, not stupidity. Our fans are fucking awesome, but the ignorance of not understanding what's happening from a black belt's perspective, just their perception, not perspective of it. Yeah, I like the perspective of it all separate now.
One of my favorite photos of you is not you getting blasted in the face. It's you and Dustin sitting there eating bacon, like middle of the night. How did that come about? Like, I mean, it didn't seem like there's much animosity, but you guys look just like so chummy right there.
Honestly, I became friends with him at Keith Richardson's big fight in South Carolina. He fought on that card that night as well, got a knockout, which led him to fighting me. But me and his fight team, Dustin is just he's a police officer, a great father, good human being, great to his community. And I love good humans. I love good men. I like strong men that can be looked up to, that I could let my son idolize, or his kids say that he's his second favorite fighter now. Yeah, I believe I'm his kid's favorite fighter after that. But no, but in seriousness, man, I just really liked him. After Keith's fight, we sit up, dude. We drank champagne together. There was a guy butt naked who got like apparently tried to hook up with a prostitute, came into our hotel while the BKFC staff standing there. I sent it to Mike and Mish. We have like a 20-minute video of this dude coming in butt naked. Like it was wild. Anyway, so we're drinking. The only thing we can drink is champagne that we bought out of a bottle in the thing. At the fridge at the front desk. We're sharing a bottle of champagne, laughing at this spectacle of whatever the hell's just happened. And dude, we talked to the sun come up and just become like friends. We never really hung out. I knew who he was. He knew who I was. We call each other. I tell his kids happy birthday. His wife is a beautiful, supportive human being. She can't even watch him fight. She watches from the hotel when the fight's over and she knows he's alive and safe. She calls him. Just the type of person and stuff. It was easy, man. We got done with it. Anyway, let me back up, because what happened was Nate Shook called me and goes, "We got a matchup for you," and I'm like. And this is after me and Dustin have been doing all this together, calling each other, talking to each other, and they're like, "Fuck." And Dustin comes in and I'm like, dude, he called me and he goes, "Hey man, I just want you to know, I said, yeah, they offered a fight against you, but I wanted to call you before they did and just say that I said I would because I figured that you would." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I will, dude." I was like, "Honestly, you're not the one I want to whoop your ass because both of us are top in the world. You know, we were at the time, both of us top five.
Sure.
And it just sucks that he has to put me out or I have to put him out." But then there was other opponents. It didn't make sense. He deserved an opportunity in Virginia, which was close to where he was. I needed a fight. So I called him back and I said,
Hold on one second. I think it ended real quick. Let me say. Oh, okay. Now you're
that
back. All
was,
right. There you
yeah,
go.
somebody called in. I allowed the manager to stop it. But yeah, anyway, so he called me, or I called him back and I said, "Hey, man, I wanted to fight Brad Kelly. Me and him, I promised Brad Kelly I would fight him because he needed a fight. No, he hadn't fought in a while." And I was like, but Brad Kelly, fortunately, like I said, the universe God does what he does. He took a fight for the other bare knuckle Game Bread. Bam.
Sure.
He took a
Yeah.
fight for Game Bread, and he called me and said, "Hey Joe, they offered me like an extra money, which was double what he was going to get paid to fight me."
Sure.
And I was like, "Dude, go ahead and take it. It's fine. I promise. I got another opponent. Honestly, Dustin really wants this fight. Anyway, he needs a fight too. We both need a fight." I mean, it made more sense, honestly, for both of us to fight each other. And I called him back and I was like, "Hey, man, I accepted a fight." And we stayed friends that whole camp, man. We hugged before the fight. I'm not sure if we said a prayer together, but I'm sure we did before the fight. I brought my loved one. I've really been just like I said, dude. So when it was all over, I actually gave him a necklace, and he was wearing my necklace around all night. We went back to the hotel, and we drank beer and ate bacon together, and took pictures, and our wives became friends, and yeah, we still do. Every when he fights, I go live and I call his coach and I'm like, "Hey, hope you fucking lose, dude." And I'm just kidding. Good luck. Like I said, man, I love these guys. If we bleed together, we become brothers. And if you're not a prick and you're a good human, and it doesn't matter who you worship or what your sexuality is or none of that, if you're a good human and you live love first and you only punish yourself and don't take it out on the world, we could be fucking friends. And yeah, that's what I look for.
No, I like Jackie. She's a great person. Your fight that's coming up, like, I mean, you love the bloodbaths. Are you hoping to get in there and knock him out, or like would you prefer? You like that, smash mouth? You seem like the old school, like smash mouth. Just keep punching him in the mouth. You love pushing your style down his throat. Like, what do you see?
So I love bleeding to death for everybody. I love making people bleed to death. And I don't mind it. But what I have focused on this time is being the world champion.
Okay.
I hated how good Austin Trout looked in his last fight, but he fought. And I heard his coach say to him I believe it's between the third or fourth round, he goes, "You ain't got to do shit. I want you to coast. Use your jab. Get out of there. Fuck what the people think, basically." And I cannot help but be a natural savage. So when I throw a jab, it's like somebody else's overhand. Don't worry, we're gonna bleed or knock out. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to piece him apart. But this guy's a little bit slower. I love him, and I'm not talking trash, but he's flat footed. He's slow. He throws low volume of punches. He tries to get inside and land body shots and knock people out because he has great left body hook head shots. He has a whopping overhand right, but he doesn't set it up, even though he is a journeyman boxer with almost 60 something fights. He's gotten a lot slower. He hasn't gotten any better at what he does. And yeah, so I think I'm going to go out there and pick him apart. Coach Kelly Davis has got my precision, my timing, and my power. And I've focused on developing into a boxer from the outside and picking my punches. But fortunately for you guys, I am a nasty, raw, powerful motherfucker, dude. And he can't even hold them hand pads on right now. I'm not going to talk about my game plan, man, this dude ain't gonna survive, and y'all are gonna hear the echoes of death chambers. Y'all ain't gonna care about blood. The echoes that come off his fucking face. If he stands up for 5 rounds and he's tough enough, y'all are gonna get y'all's blood back. But I believe this dude's gonna want to go home early so he can eat. Since y'all ain't wired shut, I'm coming in there to.
Okay, so my last question I always ask people the first time I interview, I love how intense you get. Do you remember the first time you were in a street fight, like elementary school? The first time you punched someone out of anger. Do you remember the first time you were in a fight? I know you seem like somebody who's probably had 300 fights when you were little, but do you remember the first
Well,
time?
honestly, I got my black belt in Taekwondo first, so that's why I say this means so much to me. Because I mean, I knocked out adults at a world competition because the kids wouldn't compete with me. So I've always been a damn good fighter. But we fight for those that cannot fight for themselves. I'm a Christian and I have God in my heart, and I will whoop your fucking ass if you bully somebody. And most of my fights, I think my first fight six true fight outside of the gym because I was sparring at the gym. I didn't have time to fight people. People would pick on me and bully me, but I'd cry, I'd be more shy. I was a little bitch because I had such a big heart and I didn't know what to do in a kid, and I didn't want to hurt people because I knew as a kid, there's nobody trained. Everybody thought this tough, but I would have hurt those kids.
Right.
I'm like I said, sixth grade, there was this kid named Zach. I love you, Zach. If you ever watch me, if you're still around, and but they called him Fat Zach, and he was broke. He didn't have a lot of money. And I remember he would wear the same pants every day because he was so big. And they put white out on his desk one day just because they wanted to test to see if he was washing his pants. And I knew for a fact that the kid would have to walk down, wash his mama's clothes and his brothers and sisters' clothes. He had to wash his pants at the laundromat every day. He wore these ugly ass shorts, and he would sit down there, he'd wash his pants, he'd take them back home, and he couldn't get this white stain. He came with a white stain on his ass the next day from where the whiteout didn't come out of his pants. And this kid named, I think it was Alan, uh, any guess it was? It was Alan. I ain't gonna say his last name because we're friends now. But he got, yeah, the reason he's my friend, I'll whoop your fucking ass for picking on Zach, dude. I was little. I was the smallest kid. Like I said, I was 4'11", 103 pounds my freshman year. But
Oh,
I was a fucking ninja. And he was laughing at Zach. And on the way to the sixth grade, we would all walk down the hallway on the way to the cafeteria. And I remember him going, shit, white ass, look at him, white ass, or it was something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I just remember going, and I'd already had enough. And I'm like, I wouldn't have fought if you were bullying me. I'd never stood up for myself. But I remember my daddy looking at me and saying, if you ever see anybody bullying anybody, you better stand up for them or I'll whoop your ass. So I like the logic in my head goes, ah, can't fight anybody. But if they're picking on him and he hit him in his foot, and I'm like, fall on the stairs. You know, like you trip somebody's back foot and it trips into their next foot and they fall. Well, that's what he
Yeah.
did. He kind of kicked his feet out from under him. And that went through my head, dude. And it was just like that milk and cookies commercial when you're eating cookies and you look at it and it's the devil, like, no, there's no milk in the container. The milk all of a sudden shows up and the bright light hits. Ah. I was like, this is my fucking moment. I went in my full karate stance and I said, come on, bitch, let's see who's fat now. And hey, look, then he turned around and said, what are you gonna do, Elmo? And I went, fuck, and I fucking head kicked that dude and dropped him in one punch. I've become one of the coolest kids in the school, man. There's legends of me all over Dyersburg because anytime somebody bullied somebody, I never got suspended. My dad would have killed me, but I found a quiet place and I'd catch you slipping. It didn't matter if you was looking. I'd tap you on the shoulder, ask you why you did what you did, and if you didn't know I was finna whoop your ass, you didn't know who I was. And that's the only fights I got in. I was a whole bunch of one-hitter quitters, man. I hit same kid, Allen. 10 years later, dude, we were in my front yard. He said, I think I can take you now. I hit that motherfucker, and I swear to God, I wish Punky was alive. Both his shoes was right here. I hit him so hard he came out his fucking shoes. Man, that's just been my whole life, man. A couple of my buddies, it's going to get rowdy at this event, dude. I got 20 buddies coming. There's this church group. They work with kids that are parents that are on drugs and recovery, and they've got a big youth group they're going to bring up and come visit me. And a couple of my friends are coming from their kids, and I got all these guys that some of them are like calling, like, tell them you whooped my ass. Remember that time I was talking shit? Tell my son about it. Oh man, it's funny, and I got hundreds of those stories. But yeah, people were bullies where I was from, and I was the anti-bully. Never been a superhero, but I've been the anti-hero. I'm Deadpool. I'm Wolverine. I got a bad fucking attitude, but if I love you, you're safe.
You sound like a great human. I'm glad we finally got to talk. We've been fans of you on the Reddit for a long time. Is there any message do you have, sponsors, or any message you want to give out before we call it a day?
Yeah, love your family, love your wife. When you fuck up, just admit you fuck up. None of us are perfect. We do it every day. Yeah, man, I want to thank all my sponsors, everybody that's been there from the beginning when I had nothing. Outlaw Tattoos from Montgomery, Alabama. I remember y'all giving me free tattoos when I was still my memberships. They're all coming to the fight. Innovative Aquatics, Russ Cassidy, uh, Activate Rehydration, and Activate IV Rehydration. Barber Orthopedic, the hyperbaric chamber treatments, the level of attention I get is like a superstar, the UFC Institute. And Barber Orthopedic provides so many of us local Atlanta fighters with the best care possible. So, Dr. Scott Barber, thank you. BKFC, man, I can't wait to show out and show off. I got one of the best companies in the world, and I'm so thankful for the platform to share my sponsors and share my people and get to live my life as a fighter in front of everybody.
Awesome. Well,
Thank
good
y'all.
luck. I can't wait to talk to you after you win. Hang on 1 second and have a great day, bud.
Peace, y'all. Be blessed.